Hello, all you shining stars, and welcome to my channel, Shining Star Soup. It's a Storytime Sunday featuring Jose, who is chilling out on the back of my chair, but I don't know for how long he'll be there. Alright, so I don't have all my cats with me, obviously. Jose's pretty much my little baby, but I decided I would talk about the cats. Alright, so I'm just going to turn off my little, and obviously this is not smell-o-vision, but I had a Scentsy thing going on there. We started out with an orange cat, and this orange cat we picked up from this place called Herbie's Cat Sanctuary, and at the time we were living in an apartment that didn't allow pets, but I just fell in love with this orange cat, and like this cat was female, and what she would do would she climb up my leg whenever I visited. She'd climb all the way up my leg and hop on my shoulder. So I fell in love with this cat. And even though our apartment didn't allow cats, I kind of went over Sean's head, my husband's head, to get the cat. And we waited about, I think it was 3 weeks for the cat to be spayed, and we took it home. Now, unfortunately, we weren't able to keep the cat, and the cat started, we moved into an apartment that allowed pets, and the cat started peeing everywhere and was becoming too much for us. It was a really hard decision for us to uh, we gave the cat to the SPCA just because we weren't at, it was very heartbreaking, and we both swore that if we ever got cats again, we would make sure that we were in a place where we could take care of them. Fast forward a few, maybe even a year, and then we got our house, and we started out by, we went to this place called PetSmart. We went out for sushi, and PetSmart kept cats there, but they were from a cat rescue called SNAP program, which was spay and neuter action program, and there was Kittykins and Jose, and Jose is the gray cat right behind me. Uh, we we waited about a month before we actually adopted the two together, and we adopted them a week before we were going to. Sorry, Jose. A week before we were going to actually have the house, so that we knew we'd have a place for them to. Jose, what are you? All right, well, that's the end of Jose's visit for now. So we adopted them together. They were an older pair when we adopted them, and we brought them home with us. But it was a decision because we did not want to make the same mistake that we had made with the orange cat we had adopted a couple years ago, who we had named, or rather, Sean had named, Princess Periwinkle von Ticklebottom. Yes, that was the orange cat's name, Princess Periwinkle von Ticklebottom. So we started out with Kittykins and Jose, and they told us we had to adopt them together. So we got a discounted rate on adopting them, took them home, and it was funny because Kittykins was the one that when we first went, we kept visiting them every time we'd go out for sushi. It was like our thing. We'd go visit the cats and kind of hoo and haw as to if we were going to adopt them. And she was the one that was the friendly one. Jose wasn't. He was the one that would hide in the background, even though the people who were taking care of them at PetSmart told us that Jose was actually really lovable, like just really affectionate, and I didn't see it. However, we brought them home, and Jose was just right underneath the bed. And I remember for about 2 weeks straight, every day after work, I would talk to him. I would get on the floor and coax him out little by little, and eventually he came out and he grew really attached to me. And we had just Jose and Kittykins, I think, for about a year before we decided to go back to PetSmart. I wanted to bring in a cat that would kind of, more of a kitten that would kind of liven liven up the cats a bit. I don't know. I thought they needed a friend. And we decided on a black cat because the lady at PetSmart told us that black cats were harder to adopt. And we saw Midnight, like, I think it was a couple months, every day for a couple months. He wasn't getting adopted, he wasn't getting adopted. And eventually it was like, okay, well, are they going to send him to be euthanized because it's been so long, right? He was under 2 years old. And we ended up adopting him. So for a while, again, it was Midnight, Jose, and Kittykins. My mother-in-law moved in with us. Eventually, my mother-in-law would take Kittykins, but it was a while before she would take him. And then we got, again, like a year later, we got Rowan. And Rowan was, I wanted an orange cat. And I got an orange and white cat. And Rowan, we got Rowan to keep Midnight company because Kittykins and Jose just weren't having it. So at this point now we had 4 cats. We had Kittykins and Jose, Midnight, and Rowan. Now Rowan was a bit rough, and what ended up happening was Midnight ended up falling off a cat tree. And it was kind of sad because he was hiding underneath the bed and he was howling, and we took him to the vet, and it turned out that he had a broken hip. So he was only 2 years old. I'll never forget this. And it was like, okay, well, we can save you have 2 choices. Either pay $1,200 to have a hip replacement done on the cat or euthanize him because he cannot live, or he was in so much pain. So Sean and I made the decision without question to fork out the $1,200 and have Midnight's hip replacement done. So officially, Midnight is our most expensive cat that we have out of the 5. Yes, we technically have 5 cats. And Jose's back. Another thing that happened was I think this was before we got Tubies, which ended up being our 5th cat. Jose ended up going missing for about 6 days, and it got to the point where I was certain that he would never come back. And one day, about 5 days later, Sean tells me that Jose's back, and I didn't believe him because I walked up and down calling Jose's name, and Jose, he would always come to me, but sure enough, he was there behind the door, and I let him in, and he was so hungry, and he was limping, and when I saw him start limping, I burst into tears. We took him to the vet. Turned out he was fine. We think he ended up getting stuck underneath a nearby trailer, is what we think happened. But since that day, my husband built a cat cage with the locked doors so that the cats couldn't go wandering around the neighborhood. So that's how that came to be. We got Tubies, who was our next door neighbor's cat. Was so small when we first got him, and Sean was against like a 5th cat, but once he met Tubies, that was it. We had 5 cats. Eventually, my mother-in-law moved out. She took Kittykins with her, and we tried for a bit of a time, a couple days, for her to take Jose as well, but I just missed Jose too much. So currently, that's the situation right now. It can be havoc in our house. Each cat has their own personalities. Midnight is Sean's cat, my husband's cat, and Tubies is just a troublemaker. Once in a while, he's the bathroom cat. Once in a while, he'll come in and he'll just hang out in the bathroom and hop on your lap when you're on the toilet. That's Tubies. Rowan is noisy as all heck. He'll make lots of noise, but he always comes to bed and he'll jump on me and he'll do his little kneading thing with his paws. That's Rowan. Jose is the suck. He will paw at your leg until you lift him up. Jose will drag toys and do his little around the house. Midnight will always let you know when supper time is. He'll always wake you up in the morning for breakfast. My husband is usually the first one up to feed him. I'm usually home at night, so I'm the one that will feed him around 5:30 whenever I get home. And yeah, so and them bringing birds into the house, dead birds. I think we've had at least four. We've been in this house for about 6 or 7 years, and at least four cats or four birds have made it onto our floor. But you know, that's a story for Storytime Sunday. I took a break from the crazy relationships. My last one would have been the liver biopsy story, and this one is my cat story, all about our cats. All right, I hope all you shining stars have a shining star day. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for tuning in each and every video, leaving your comments, your love, your support, and I just adore you all, and I hope all you shining stars have a shining star week that's coming up. Bye!